This is Starcast, the official podcast of your Billingham Stars. Watch and listen for the very latest news and interviews from within the Big Red Machine.
Hello and welcome to episode 20 of Starcast, your official podcast of the Billingham Town Council Billingham Stars. A very happy new year to all our watchers and listeners. Happy new year as well to our co-hosts, Carol and Jono, who join us to talk all things Billingham Stars. Welcome and a happy new year to you both.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Well, we did sit in person in Sheffield at the weekend, but we'll cross that bridge in a moment. Just a one game to talk about from last weekend, one game to talk about coming up, and plenty in between as well. A couple of bits of news to talk about as well, and we'll finish up with any other business. We'll start with a couple of bits of news. And one is from the Sheffield game. You'll have seen on our social media on Saturday. Chris Sykes' first point on Saturday took him clear in all-time second place in Billingham's historic leader chart. Points, he has 539 points, made up of 234 goals and 305 assists, which only leaves him 540 points behind Paul Windridge. So double it and add one to catch Mr. Spike. But yeah, just a quick word on Sykesy. We knew it was coming. It seems to have come rather quickly with a few multi-point games, and ever since he arrived in Billingham, Carol, all he's done is produce for the Stars.
Absolutely. I think Foz said it on Saturday post game. He's from the Sheffield area, but it's not anymore. He's one of us. And ever since he's arrived in Billingham, he's been absolutely central to any success that we've had. There's not a lot I can say about Chris that people don't already know. He knows where the net is. He's productive. He's been either at the top or around the top of our scoring charts ever since he got here. He's absolutely integral to the Stars. He wears his heart on his sleeve as well. You can see how much it means to him when we do well, and all power to him. It's been a wonderful journey for him while he's been here, and long may it continue. And who knows, he might even catch Spike if he can keep going for as long as Spike did. He probably will. So we hope and pray that Chris hangs around and continues to be at the centre of the Stars for some time to come. Yeah,
and Jono, the player we saw when he was with the Sutton Sting, we kind of said, wouldn't it be great if he came to Billingham? He hasn't let us down. He's, as well as second all time in points, he's also moved fourth all time in goals. He's overtaken Tom Brown Senior. So the record just coming thick and fast, and it's been a huge part in the way he's kind of grown up, as Carol says, with the Billingham Stars over the last few years. Part of the leadership group now, part of the furniture there, and he's just a huge part of the club. Full stop.
Absolutely massive player for the club from the day we signed him. He said he'd bring goals and points, and he hasn't disappointed. He's come as advertised. We know he's the half a chance guy. We always said that we needed a player who could just put that chance away that comes along. That's maybe a half chance that some players would snatch at, but when he's in front of the net, you put your mortgage on it knowing that he's going to score. And like I said, just today, he comes as advertised, and he's not even an adopted Teessider anymore. He is a full-on Teessider. He loves his team. He loves the fan base. We chats with him, and he's been an absolute incredible signing that hasn't come from our own junior academy. And yet he's still been here, 10, 11 years now?
Yeah. No, it's been fantastic, and many congratulations to Chris. Obviously, we saw him on Saturday. And in the mode of the Ovechkin thing, the road to 1,079 starts, yeah. So we'll count those 540 points down over the next 8 to 10 years or whatever. No, but great to see Spike, and obviously the players give him a thing on Saturday, and the fans did as well. So it was great to see. More on the game in a minute. The only other bit of news we want to mention was confirmed again early this week. The Cup semi-final. It is the Hull Jets as it was confirmed with the standings the other week. Dates have been confirmed. It is Saturday at the Forum, Sunday in Hull. So the usual face-off time, Saturday 5:30. It's the 18th and 19th of January. 2 legs, usual format. And the other semi-final is the very, very tasty one we talked about last week, Blackburn and Deeside. They go the same weekend, Saturday in Deeside, Sunday in Blackburn. So Saturday date for the Forum. Obviously, give you plenty of notice. Hope you can make it down to Teesside for that one. We'll talk about that one. I was thinking in next week's show when we come to talk about the cup. More in any other business later on. But we'll talk about the game on Saturday. And looking at when we come to the results and tables, it's fortunate that it perhaps was a Saturday game. We've got into Sheffield, got the points, and came home. 15-1 was the final. Do we need to go through all of the goals? Sheffield scored first, and then Ian Brown scored from first to third a 2-minute 45-second hat-trick. He added one later on as well. Rowley scored, Sykesy scored a couple, Mossy scored a couple, including a really nice one-timer. Sam Dowd scored a really, really nice goal. 1 goal and 2 assists for Sam Dowd, his best output for a Billingham Star. And Ben Greenhalgh with a couple of goals as well. 3 for 3 on the power play. The net was split between Mark and Jack Wakefield. Jack got 32 minutes. Mark made 8 saves. Jack made 6 saves in 32 minutes. But a thoroughly professional performance. And Carol, we said that Sheffield scored first, and they were really on top for the first 18 seconds or so. And
yeah,
them.
Yeah, that's as good as it got for them. I'm going to throw some cliches in here about you can only be what's been put in front of you. But I'll be brutal. I don't think anybody enjoys watching games like that. Sheffield were poor. Aidan Dancer scored an absolute beautiful goal in after 18 seconds. Cupped his ears to the Billingham Stars fans. Oh, that was a silly move, really. And genuinely, that is literally as good as it got for the Skims. And you can't really take many positives out of that game other than we were utterly ruthless and professional, and didn't show any sort of mercy to what was a very poor side. And that's good to see, actually, because you don't want to be letting up at this stage of the season. You can't take a night off just because of the opposition, I'm afraid. The other positives, everybody got ice time, including the 2 netminders. There was some beautiful goals in there. You mentioned Sam Dowd there, and I don't think you'll see a better goal than James Moss's second. It was lovely. And after that, I'm struggling because for the health of the league, you don't want to see games like that. It wasn't particularly fun to watch if you were from Sheffield, and I'm not entirely sure they'll have got any positives from that game.
No, it's true enough. And the double-figure scores. So yeah, the league's only as strong as its weakest team, and Sheffield are that weakest team at the moment. Obviously, the thing that they announced earlier in the air with the link up coming through with the Steelers, that's going to take time to bed in. That's a next year kind of thing. But you say you'd like to see some sort of results of that and progression from that. But as Carol said, Jono, from the Billingham side, it was possibly good for our side that we did just do a professional job, because previously a Billingham team would have gone down there and struggled to get past a poorer opponent, and maybe he's only won by 3 or 4. So it was a full 60 minutes and a great performance from the guys.
Yeah, it was certainly just a business job, wasn't it? We went there, we knew what was going to happen. I think the lads probably knew what was going to happen. It was just whether they put the effort in and the work rate in, and that was probably the biggest thing to take from it. Not the goals, not the quality of goals, but the work rate. The treat Sheffield, the utmost respect of the treat them like they were playing anybody else in the division, which is one of the biggest respects you can give anyone, even a team down at the bottom. It's easy to sit back, lay back, and take the mickey a little bit. But no, just a very professional job. worked really hard as well, all the way through 60 minutes, scoring some nice goals on the way. But like you say, you can only beat what's in front of you, and we did a very clinical, professional job.
Yeah. The goals, as we mentioned, so we'll go through the score sheet as it was. So Mossy had 2 goals, 5 assists. Ben, 2 goals, 1 assist. Tommy Spragg, just the 1 assist, but still was Tommy Spragg. James Helens, 3 assists. Psyche, 2 goals and 4 assists. Shug, 1 assist. Sam Dowd, 1 goal, 2 assists. As I say, 3.9 is best in a Billingham Stars shirt. Rowley, 4 goals and 3 assists with one hand. Mikey, 2 assists. Darren, 1 assist. Callum, 1 assist. And then Ian Brown, just the 4 goals. As I say, 2.5 minute hat trick, and then a one later on. And as I say, they did just keep going, and it's something that you've alluded to, Carol and Jono, that we will need over the next few weeks when the big games, the semi-finals, the league running, whatever it's going to be. You're going to need to play these 60-minute games and keep the foot on the gas and play for the full 60, Carol.
Yeah, and that is the big positive, as I said before, is that we did treat it like any other game. We didn't let up. We didn't have a night off. We just decided that this is the team that's in front of us right now, and we're going to treat it just the same as any other game. And we have to keep that ball rolling. There can't be any nights off. Not now. Not until we go on the golf courses come spring. It's not the time of year to be taking your foot off the gas. And the good thing is that everybody who travelled, and don't forget, we actually had quite a short bench on Saturday. Everybody that travelled got plenty of ice time. Saw some odd comments on social media about rolling the top line too hard, and actually that's really not true. We rolled all of our lines pretty much equally throughout, and everybody probably got about the same amount of ice time. So from that point of view, a really good workout, and good that we keep the lines together as much as possible so that we can keep that chemistry going.
Yeah. No, the lines, like you said, I mean, the fact that Mossy and Rowley had the bulk of the points shows you it wasn't just a top line performance. Carol's given her favourite goal. Jono, do you have any goals? Anything stand out from you, individual wise?
I think probably just the Mossy one-timer. Very impressive goal, very tough technique. And as they say in cricket, he absolutely middled it, and it went flying off the stick into the top shelf.
Yeah. No, we'll have to see if we can get some footage from Sheffield and share some of those goals. I don't think we need to kind of labour it much more. It was a professional performance. We'll get Fozzie's words are on Big Red Machine Radio on Tuesday night as we record this, so you'll be able to listen to that. Both goalies, the 2 and 3 goalie, you could say. So Jacob had the day off. 14 skate as everybody played. It couldn't been a better start to the new year. So kind of leave Sheffield there. And as I say, we were fortunate. Perhaps it was a Saturday game. We got home Saturday night before the worst of the weather came in, which, as we see when we come to the fixtures and results in just a moment, Sunday possibly wasn't quite as fortunate. So we'll leave the Sheffield game there. So we'll come to next week's game very shortly, but we'll have a quick break and come back. We'll talk about the results and tables from last weekend. And this is your Billingham Stars podcast. This is Starcast. Welcome back to Starcast, second segment of the show this week. We're going to look at the results of last weekend, such as they were, and the latest league tables. As we alluded to just before the break, Saturday games, all well and good. Sunday, perhaps not so much. So Saturday's fair, as I say, the Sheffield Billingham game there, as you know. Hull Jets 6, Whitley Warriors 1, and Blackburn Hawks 10, Deeside Dragons 2. First there, hopefully a preview, or not a preview, of the Cup semi-final. Blackburn will hope it's a preview. But they did a number on Deeside with their new old signing, Peter Valuziak, picking up a couple of goals. And then Sunday, as you can see, slowly throughout the morning and into lunchtime, the games are called off as the snow around the north and the northwest in particular put pay to any safe travel for players and fans and what have you. So the games at Whitley, at Solihull, and at Widnes all postponed and to be rearranged. The Whitley game with Blackburn already has been rearranged for a Saturday night in Hillheads. Lucky Blackburn going to Hillheads on a Saturday night, but there you go. Anything from the Saturday schedule, Carol?
Yeah, I think we need to talk about D-side. I'm looking at that scoreline and thinking, what? I mean, I'm aware that D-side weren't completely at full strength, but they weren't missing many, and that for me is an unreal scoreline. I don't know what's happened there. The Dragons are having the most schizophrenic season. It's bizarre. It's 1 minute you think they're going to be challenging, and the next minute you see a scoreline like that, and it's you wonder what's gone on. Now I don't know, because I wasn't at the game, if that's a combination of Blackburn just being superb, or D-side had an off night. Who knows? But that is not a scoreline I was expecting. Whereas the other one, the Hull Whitley one, I absolutely 100% was expecting. Because Whitley are not playing very well at the minute, and they were short on a couple of players.
Well, Blackburn, I've just had a quick look. Blackburn have won 13 of the last 14 games. The only one they've lost, they lost by 9 goals in Billingham. Just drop that in. But 13 out of 14, and they have been adding substantial firepower to the roster as well. Adding, obviously, Veluziak's come back in, and Liam Charnock's come in, and they've started to contribute now. So they are the form team, you could argue, of the division at the moment. D-side, I'm just again looking at the sheet. Matt Croyle played the majority of the game, played 50 minutes, conceded 8 on 39 shots, and there's not that many absentees that I can see from the lineup from D-side. So whether it's a very good Blackburn or a combination of good Blackburn, not so good D-side, Jono, what are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah. I was just, as Carol was talking, D-side cannot be losing 10-2. They really can't. That's shambolic. For that roster to lose 10-2, it's embarrassing and shambolic, and that's all you can say about it. Obviously, I've spoken to a few people about it, and the Hawks weren't even that electric, apparently. I said, yeah, they played good. He said, but just the scorers scored, and that's all it was, really. They knew D-side have got no defence, and you look at the roster, they don't. And they just picked the holes on the weaker players in defence and racked up the score. And again, when I was talking to them, I said it wasn't a case of them taking the mick and embarrassing a derby opponent. It's just the way the game fell to them, and the chances fell, and they took the chances. And but from a D-side point of view, you can't be getting hammered 10-2. You just can't. Not with that roster.
Yeah. And again, so like Billingham and Hull, they go again, home and away in a couple of weeks' time. So we'll see what transpires from that one. Just a quick one on the Whitley Bay in Hull. Whitley opened the scoring, and then Hull 6 straight goals. Again, usual names are in the frame there. And we knew Whitley were short, which we'll talk about in any other business. Whitley were short a couple, but they only had one less skater than Hull on the night. So again, just Hull, this kind of schizophrenic home form of the Hull Jets, doing a job and keeping them in the mid-table playoff hunt.
Yeah, Hull have had a bit of a weird season, but if they can get that home form back, they're going to be a pain in the backside for anybody who goes there. They just need to find that little bit of magic that they had last season, because they can certainly make a big challenge towards the top of the table with other teams not doing what we think they're going to do. I think the big positive the three of us, Stars, Jets and Hawks, can take out of that weekend is we all got points in the bag, because those Sunday washout games, we all know what British hockey's like. We've seen that one of them's been rearranged, but we wait to see on the other two, and we know from history that they may not get rearranged, and if any of those go to a 0-0, that single point might cost somebody later in the season. So points in the bag was a big plus from Saturday. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and rearranged games as well. It's as Whitley's game is, it's creating a double header where the previously wasn't. So it's not just having to play that game; it's adding the fixture congestion further down the line as well. So when you're in the run-in, you're playing 2 games possibly every weekend rather than just having a 1-game weekend.
Yeah. Whitley have got a bit of a backlog there anyway, because they're having obviously their game against Hull is going to have to be rearranged because it was stupidly arranged for semi-final weekend, so they've got one to rearrange there. They were already behind on fixtures. They've got some games in hand because of pointless cup competition at the back end of last year. So Whitley are going to have a busy run-in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll look at the league table. So she isn't, and Whitley are, along with Leeds, have only played 20 games so far, whereas Billingham have played the most at 24, with Sheffield played 24. So they're already, behind in games, and another one added to the list. So quick look at the league table. So Billingham have played 2 more than Blackburn now, because Blackburn's Sunday game was postponed. So it's back to a 12-point gap. But those 2 games in hand for the Hawks. 63 points from 24 games. Hawks 51 points, and then D-side, Solihull, and Hull, all just within a point of each other. That's going to be a race down to the final week of the season. And then Whitley in 6th, Nottingham 7. And then Leeds, Widnes, and Sheffield is looking like it could be a bit of a race, because they've got games against each other that come up as well. So again, a little race for the last playoff spot, for the right to face the league champions home and away. So whether you want to be 8th or not is a debatable question. But so there's little races within the races, but league table from our side of the fence anyway has a very rosy glow at the moment. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, points on the board is absolutely essential. And I was saying this before, I say you just don't know what's going to come up weather-wise. It's good to have the games in. Good job we got our game on Saturday. They've got the Hawks have got 2 games in hand. Still makes it a 6-point gap if they were to win those 2 games. But that rearranged fixture is not going to be easy. Whitley Bay on a Saturday night, and you don't know what they've got on the Sunday as well. And for the other teams, you've got D-side, and now they're going to get caught with Solihull Barons with their news coming in. Widnes have now got something to play for after a couple of big wins, and they've got Leeds in the sights, and they play again this weekend. So it's still could be very, very interesting as we get into the running. Well, for me, the running started now. This is the business end of the season, and it's certainly going to be. Again, just like this weekend was meant to be, everyone would have been glued to the phones on Sunday looking at results. But as it were, the snow put a stop to that. But I think every weekend fans are going to be jumping on the phones looking at other teams' results. Yeah,
no, definitely. The kind of when the calendar turns is when they kind of start on the run towards the postseason. So, I mean, there's only six home games in the league left for the Stars. It seems mad when you think there's still 3 months to go, but. 6 home games, but still plenty of hockey around the division, and we'll keep an eye on that on the podcast as the season moves on. Next weekend, again, just a 1 game for the Billingham Stars, and it's the first game of an upcoming Hull Jets trilogy. So the Hull Jets are already coming to us on Sunday the 12th for a league fixture, and obviously you've got the double header the following weekend. In the Cup. So first of 3 games against the Hull Jets. Quick look at the full schedule for next weekend. Hull are on a road doubleheader. They're away in Sheffield on Saturday at 4:40, and then Leeds Widnes on Saturday night at the Castle. That's at 7:30 there. And then Sunday, D-side Whitley, Billingham Hull, Widnes Solihull, and Blackburn against Sheffield. So 6 games across the weekend. But the one we're going to talk about is at the Forum Ice Arena on Sunday. First game of the new year at home for the Billingham Stars. And I say it'll be interesting to see how the teams approach it, with it being the first of a triple header, Carol. So you've got to it's cliched, but you've got to take care of the league business first.
We have, and this one's interesting because I don't know if anybody picked up when you showed the league table, but this is a battle of best home record against best away record on Sunday. Hull Jets have got the best away record in the league currently, which, if you go back to last season, is it's a pretty phenomenal turnaround on the road. So what can you say? We're going to have to be at our best. We're seeing this every week now, and we've been saying it pretty much since the season got underway. On paper, there are no easy games in this league. I'm saying on paper because some of them turned out to be far too easy. But this Sunday, I can pretty much guarantee will not be easy, and we need to be on our A game as we have been in recent weeks. And we need to throw down that marker and say, yeah, we're here for the battle, for this trilogy, if you like, this little 3-game stretch. We need to lay down that marker. The league points are absolutely critical, and we need to be deadly focused on just that one game.
Yeah, and we've had Hull down in Hull, Jono, at the Chip Spice Arena. We've kind of had the run of the games down there, and we've got the results. So they're going to want to repay that, and they kind of pushed us quite a bit at the last game, and they've kind of done all right at the Forum in the couple of years they've been in the division.
Yeah, but I think we are coming up against a different beast this year. I honestly believe that. I think we are completely different. I think we're completely different from the last time we played them. They're coming into our house, and I think with it being the first one of the new year as well, I think the crowd are going to be up for it just as much as the lads will be. The lads will want to put a show on, and the crowd will be buzzing to get back into the rink and to see this team. Obviously, a lot of fans did travel last week, but so many never, and that have followed online, and they'll be humming to see this team, because I know I am. As soon as that weekend ends, I'm buzzing for the next one to see this team play, because they are an absolute thrill to watch. And a part of me thinks, I think Hull might be a bit, oh no, we're going to Billingham on Sunday. It's going to be, we're going to be in for an hiding. And I think we've kind of got that status now, a bit like when we've done it all before. We did it when Blackburn were in their dominant era. It's like, oh God, we've got the Hawks. We've got to go to the Hawks. And we've done it with Solway. And I think teams are starting to feel that of us now. And the way the lads are tuned in, the way the lads are working hard, I know we'll be on it 100%. And for as much as it'll be a great game, I just think, like I said at the start there, they're coming into our house, and as Carol said before, no one can beat us in Billingham at the moment.
Yeah, no, and it's the best home record, as Carol says. And just looking at the Whitley game for Hull last weekend again, Zach Brown appears to be back and playing as we know Zach Brown can. So that's a challenge. Maybe we haven't had the last couple of games we played the Hull Jets, and who knows if they have any other changes to the lineup when they come to play us, either the league game or the cup game. So we'll do the work. I'm sure the guys in training this week, they'll do the work. They'll get ready. They'll be ready to go. But I think Fozzie's mantra, I think we heard it on Saturday night, Carol. We just look after ourselves. We do our jobs. We know what we can do. And I think John alluded as well. If we play how we can play, the results kind of speak for themselves so far this season, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's especially at the Forum. It's for other teams to worry about what we're putting onto the ice. Recent weeks it would have been Whitley. I'm thinking especially it would have been easy to try and go toe to toe with them. Line matching, etc., etc. But as it transpired, Whitley pretty much decided to run with 2 lines, and that's never going to work against a team with the firepower that we've got. So it is all about just looking after our own and making sure that our game is how we want to play it, and let Hull worry about how they're going to cope. It's not for us to worry about them so much, although they obviously they do have players that are exceptional in this league, but I don't necessarily think that we should be overly concerned on just concentrating on those individuals.
Yeah. Anything from you, Jono? I see you're no worries at all. Do you think we should, let's say, just focus on Sunday and then think about the cup the following week? Is that going to be the important thing? Not thinking about it as a series. This is league points first. This is the most important.
Absolutely. I was going to give you both a would you rather, but no. The league is the bread and butter. That tells you are the best. Yeah, we've got points to prove in the cup. It's 2 finals and not won the trophy yet. But we'll deal with that when that comes. But this weekend, it's a league game. You can lay down a marker. You can frighten the life out of Hull going into the weekend after. Just get the points on the board and then worry about the other stuff at another time.
Yeah, no, 100%. So that's Sunday, Formice Arena, 5:30 usual. Back to the usual face-off time. Now that Christmas one-off is done and dusted. So 5:30 the usual. I hope you can all join us at the Formice Arena for the first home game of 2025. I've still been writing 2024 when I've been doing stuff because it's still not ready yet. But 25 is the new 24. And then we'll talk about the cup next week when we look ahead to the semi-finals as a whole. We'll leave Hull there for now. Any other business will round us off as usual. A couple of bits before we throw it open. Great Britain's under-20s are in World Championship action in Croatia. Carol is suitably attired, supporting the boys. And there's some good news from our side of things anyway. GB's captain this week is none other than Finn Braden. So huge congratulations to Finn, taking the C for GB there. Unfortunately, they've played the top 2 seeds in the first 2 games yesterday and today, and have been beaten in both games. So it's a rest day tomorrow, and then back in action on Thursday. So best of luck to Martin Grubb and the boys and Captain Finn out there in Croatia. Which I don't know if you've seen any of this. It's a kind of a blow up rink, which looks very, very strange. And from out there, it's incredibly. It's like worse than Blackburn cold. It's like sub-zero. It's not very nice being inside.
Is it just for that tournament, or is it a permanent temporary building?
It's temporary permanent. Yes, that is the ice rink. But it's just one of these structures that's there's a few of them around that kind of Europe. They do go in for these kind of blow up rinks.
It's a good job they used to the cold.
So it's bitterly cold inside, which obviously is good because you need ice, but even for the spectators is Jurassic. So, but best looks to the guys for the rest of the tournament. You can follow through if you follow Ice Hockey UK or Team GB on socials. They'll link to the webcasts every game day. We alluded to it earlier when we were talking about Solihull Barons. They've made a signing news. So a player returning to NIHL North 1 after a spell in the National Division with Telford and with Romford Raiders. Zach Yokoyama returns to NIHL North to much fanfare around the league, I am sure. He signed with the Solihull Barons for the rest of this season, which has them 3 imports on the books. So we'll see. As of yet, no word on what they're going to do import-wise. Obviously, they're not going to cut the best player in the league, are they? So that leaves one other player either in a rotation or it's Danny Hyatt, isn't it? Is the other import in Solihull at the minute. So we'll see what happens with that one. But yeah, so Yokoyama is back, and we do play Solihull once more, I think, on our
yeah, March time
on our barn. Yeah,
no, they're barn.
Yeah, down there. Okay, well prepared as always.
We've hammered them twice at home.
And just finally, kind of housekeeping from the Whitley doubleheader. There was the shenaniganery at the end of the Sunday game in Hill Heads. said shenaniganery has been punished by Dops Onyaro for fighting an unwilling second leading scorer Chris Sykes. A 5-game suspension, 2 of which is suspended. So we'll serve 3 matches. And Adam Wood for his abusive official, initially given on the night as a 2-minute minor, was reviewed and upgraded to a game misconduct for abusive official. He's suspended for 3 games. And obviously, now the Sunday game didn't happen. It's a weekend longer for them to wait. So that's the housekeeping from the Whitley weekend. Any other business? Any other business? Jono, do you want to do any supporters club stuff back at the forum? I presume you're back on duty this Sunday.
Yeah. Everything's back to normal this Sunday. We had our little Christmas night off. Obviously there to give out the Christmas raffle winners, but yeah, tables back up and running on Sunday for all your bits and bobs, your pucks, your badges, and your sockies, and everything like that. Yeah, come by, drop by, say hello. We never know. We might even have some new news to drop come Sunday after our meeting on Thursday.
Sounds good. And Carol, anything from you from our media world? Obviously, we're down at training on Thursday. Get the latest ahead of the weekend. Anything happening in our world?
No, I'm looking forward to a new playlist drop because we haven't had one for a while. That's a hint for us to remind somebody to send us said playlist drop. But we've not had one of those for a while. We need some new tunes.
Yes, new Christmas music. Well, can you still play Christmas music in January? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, but yeah, no, I think we're pretty much caught up on things as we stand. So we'll draw a veil on things there. We usually will reminder to wherever you're watching or listening to give us a like and a share and a positive review, to help all the things behind the scenes to help the podcast progress and be seen by more people. So thanks to everybody who listens and tunes in, whether it's on Facebook or on YouTube or on Spotify or on Apple or wherever you get your fix of Starcast every week. It is very much appreciated. Back at the forum on Sunday, as we said, Billingham Stars and the Hull Jets, 5:30 face-off at the Forum Ice Arena. Good seats are still available, as the cliche goes. We hope you can join us there for that one. And we'll talk to you next week here on Starcast. So a big thank you to Jono and to Carol. Good chat as always. And this has been Starcast. So we'll join you next week. Enjoy the weekend as it comes. And from now, this is Starcast, your official podcast of the Billingham Town Council, sponsored. Do I mention this cup this week? No, we'll just leave it at that. Billingham Stars.
Thank you for being part of this episode of Starcast, the official podcast of your Billingham Stars. Remember to like and share this episode, send a review when you can, and follow us on social media for the very latest news and to find out when the next Starcast will drop.